All right, good evening. My name is Captain Sheila Kelleher-Burko with Los Angeles County Fire Department, SHEILA-KELLIHER-BERKOH. All right, we're here today. We got dispatched at 12:01 for a fire that started west of the 5 in north of Castaic. Right now, that fire sits at 4,625 acres. There's a third alarm response from LA County Fire, along with a first alarm response from U.S. Forest Service. Right now, we have an incredible team working under Unified Command, Los Angeles County Fire, U.S. Forest Service, CAL FIRE, along with LA County Sheriff and CHP. As far as resources go, we have 250 firefighters for Los Angeles County Fire working. We have 115 U.S. Forest Service firefighters, and we have a robust group of resources that are en route to work through the night and into tomorrow. As far as aircraft go, we have about 15 aircraft up. That makes about 8 tankers and 7 helicopters. We do have 8 injuries, 6 were transported. And at this time, there are no structures threatened, but we do have some evacuation centers in place, and I'm going to have Lieutenant Barclay from LA County Sheriff talk about that.
Good evening. As the captain discussed, it's Barclay, B-A-R-C-L-A-Y. Deputies will remain in the area to provide security and escorts for the personnel, assist with evacuations. As of right now, we've done evacuations on approximately 100 to 200 homes north of Lake Hughes Road, south of Templin Highway, west of the Castaic Lagoon, and east of the 5 freeway. The West Ranch High School will have the Red Cross will be set up at approximately 200 hours. For people north, the Fraser Park in Lebec area, it'll be set up at 2,100 hours. All small animals in the Castaic area are encouraged to go to the Castaic Animal Shelter, and we will have be deemed as a reunification point at the Red Cross for folks.
Lieutenant, what's your first name?
Brandon, common spelling, B-R-A-N-D-O-N.
Thank you, Lieutenant. All right, now as far as road closures go, I'm going to have Captain Cruzy from CHP give you that information.
Hi, good evening. My name is Captain Ed Cruzy, K-R-U-S-E-Y, the California Highway Patrol Newhall area. For the road closures today, we have on the 5 freeway, the southbound side is closed at Vista del Lago, and on the northbound side, it's closed at Parker Road. That is the last exit to get off is Parker Road. The turnaround is north of that. So if you pass Parker Road, you'll be forced to turn around just north of Lake Hughes and travel back southbound. For the surface streets that are closed, we have Templin Highway, eastbound from I-5, Ridge Route northbound at Lake Hughes Road, and Ridge Route north just south of our location at Castaic Road, currently closed for the fire.
How long do you expect the 5 to be closed in both directions? Realistically?
Realistically, we're hoping it'll be relatively soon. We still have to check it for any structural issues. For example, if there's any of the guardrail that have the wooden structures that hold it up, we need to make sure those are in place and stuff like that. So Caltrans, we're currently working with Caltrans to start inspecting the freeway to make sure it's safe for travel. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. All right, now I'd like to have Battalion Chief Smith come up with the U.S. Forest Service to give you all a safety message.
Good evening, Seneca Smith, S-E-N-E-C-A-S-M-I-T-H. I'm a Battalion Chief and Public Information Officer with the Angeles National Forest, the U.S. Forest Service. I just wanted to emphasize that we have a very strong working relationship with Los Angeles County Fire Department, and we've had very successful operations up till this point. One of the things we really want to do is stress the message to folks that with this heat wave, it's very hot and dry. We saw how quickly a small ignition can ignite and spread very rapidly. The Angeles National Forest moved from high to very high fire danger about 2 weeks ago, and there's good reason for that. So just be very, very cognizant if you're out there recreating, traveling, using the public lands. Be very, very mindful of your actions and the potential for ignition to unfortunately get to this level. Thanks.
Some important information. Thank you, Chief. We're going to be in triple digits for the rest of the week. Now, I'd like to open it up for questions, and I'm going to have Chief Ewald come up for LA County Fire Department to help field those questions.
Yeah, good evening. Deputy Chief Tom Ewald, E-W-A-L-D. What we saw this afternoon, we had a pretty strong southwest wind pushing the fire to the north-northeast. We saw the development where it crossed over the 5 freeway. It did get into some heavier fuels. That was what was producing a lot of the heavy smoke. Later, right before sundown, we did see a wind shift. We were anticipating a northerly wind influence this evening, and we did see that happen, which actually caused some increased threat to some of the structures along the Castaic Lake area. At this point in time, we feel we have adequate resources to meet the needs for the structure defense mission for the homes that were under the smoke column. We will definitely for tomorrow, we'll continue to provide structural defense along Lake Castaic area, along the ridge route. But at this time, we believe we have adequate resources in place. Yeah, as everybody can see, take a look at the weather. We're really at day one of about a 9 to 10 day fairly extreme heat period. And if you can imagine, wearing heavy firefighting gear, carrying packs, dragging hose, swinging tools, the folks out there are just taking a beating. And so obviously we're advocating for them to hydrate, for the supervisors to pay attention to their condition. We have a lot of medical resources available, so if things do go awry, that we have the opportunity to provide treatment very quickly. We did have 8 heat-related events today. 6 people were transported. I believe their condition is all good, but we're really, as we look at tomorrow's plan, we anticipate having additional heat emergencies tomorrow. We're going to take all the precautions of having paramedic resources available, aircraft available if we have to hoist people out, but we're going to take the heat very seriously. We're in this for a while. This is probably not going to be the only fire that we're dealing with here in LA County over the next week or so, but the heat is a big factor. At this time, I don't have any confirmation on the damage to structures. I've heard some radio conversations regarding it, but I have got no validation on any structure damage or any structure loss. Yeah, so during the daytime, you saw a very powerful air armada, both fixed and rotary wing aircraft. This evening, into the hours of darkness, we will continue to have helicopters flying, making retardant drops to reinforce those lines that were put down by the fixed wing aircraft today. So we will be flying 3 aircraft, part of what we consider the quick reaction force. We'll be flying 2 CH-47s, which both drop 3,000 gallons of retardant or water, and they'll be flying through the night along with an S-61 that also has a very large tank capacity. Well, the retardant, what we're trying to do is reinforce the lines that were put in today by the fixed-wing aircraft. So the ability to operate throughout the night, they'll be flying on their night vision goggles. They will reinforce the lines that have been established, and then as hot spots develop, as the wind shifts, they'll be available to reinforce or establish additional line where the fire demands it.
Chief, are you anticipating any new challenges tomorrow?
Our big aim tonight is we're anticipating a northerly wind shift that'll blow the fire back into what is already burned. We have a lot of good dozer line that's been put in that we need to then reinforce with the aircraft that we spoke of. We anticipate some northerly winds into the morning with a shift back to this afternoon's like conditions, southwest wind, which will push it back towards Lake Castaic. So our aim is to keep it in that box. Our aim is to use both the day and night flying helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft along with our ground personnel to really continue to box this in and prevent any further growth.
Is the terrain suitable for ground forces to get in there to start moving this upward?
The terrain has been very favorable for our bulldozers, which has been tremendous. So we had 9 bulldozers working earlier. We're resetting that. You know, one of the big challenges. This is the fire that's burning right now, but we have 4,000 square miles of LA County that we have to consider for tomorrow. So we're going to have dozers staffed around the county tomorrow for additional fire starts, and we will have a robust commitment of bulldozers to this incident to ensure that we're able to box it in.
A lot of residents have been evacuated. They're wondering when they can possibly go home, or if there's even a possibility of them coming back.
You know, we don't have any specifics on that just yet. The aim will be to get people back into their homes as soon as possible. You know, as the threat passes and we're able to get into the neighborhoods and assess with our partners from California, for Southern California Edison and others to make sure that the neighborhoods are safe, then we can make the determination of being able to let people back in. But it is really one of our high priorities to ensure that we're not keeping people out of their homes for too long. But safety is the driver.
So again, no structure, you have no confirmed structures damage?
As of right now, I do not have any confirmed structure damage.
You were talking about the heat and how hot it gets for these firefighters out on the field and battling the blaze. 100 degrees, what does it feel like for them? It's 100 degrees outside, plus the blaze close by. Is there any way of calculating how hot it can get for them?
You know, I don't know how you'd calculate that. It's just, you know, you got hot and then you got really hot. And then so they're dealing with really hot, and they're dealing with it for hours upon hours. So really the best mechanisms for them to deal with it is hydration. And then it's a matter of monitoring their work levels, ensuring that we're cycling them through rest periods. But there's no opportunity for the crews on the hillside to go into an air-conditioned environment. They're out there, and you know, for the most part, they get acclimated over a period of time to the warmth. But these temperatures are above what they've been acclimated to, and it's going to be challenging. So.
Thanks, Chief.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cap, any indication of a later update? Are we talking 2 or 3 hours?
As soon as we know, we'll let you know. We'll tweet it out.